everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with another design team project for Scrapping for Less. We are going to showcase a stamp set by Heffy Doodle, and it is called Party Palooza. You gotta love the title. I'll be using those gift boxes and, of course, some of the sentiments. We're also going to use a stencil, the circle stencil by My Favorite Things. And when I saw this stencil, I was still playing around with my Nouveau mousses. I am a big fan of the Nouveau mousse, so I chose 3 colors. I chose a lemon sorbet, an aquamarine, and a spring green. And what I'm doing here is I'm taping down my stencil to the backside of my cardstock so that it won't shift. I didn't want to put the tape on the front because I didn't know how big I was going to make that panel. So the first color up is the aquamarine, and I am using a finger dauber. Now, what's really cool about this is the Nouveau mousses, they spread like butter because that's pretty much their consistency if you leave butter out. And what's great, if you use a finger sponge, you can actually wet it and wipe it in a paper towel, and that will clean the finger sponge so that you can reuse it. I have a set of these specifically for my Nouveau mousses, if this is what I want to use to blend them or to apply them to my cardstock or whatever I'm applying them to. And it really works. The sponge does not go hard. It stays soft as long as you dip it in water and just move it around a piece of paper towel. So the next color up is spring green, and I'm going to fill in some of those circles as well. You can see I'm just scattering the colors around. I don't try not to put any next to each other, and I am cleaning the finger dauber once I'm done with that color. Even if I'm not using it for the next, I still want to make sure that I clean it off so that it does stay soft and I can use it again. The last color up is lemon sorbet. And these are really pretty colors, and the shimmer that you get, it's just really subtle, but yet it does make a statement when it comes to the mousses. Excuse me. It's just it's like a sheen, a satin sheen to it. So it's not glitter. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to them. I like working with glitter, but glitter is not my favorite thing to work with because I get it all over the place. There's not enough Swiffers in the world for me to clean up my glitter. So we are now done stenciling. We've put everything away, and we're going to pull the tape off carefully off the back of our panel. And I chose a die from my stash that's going to be scalloped. Now, one of the other things that I do like about the mousse, as I was touching it there, they dry quickly. Since these were very thin layers that I was putting on, it's almost like ink blending, they dry almost immediately. And because it's such a thin layer that I put on, I can run my die over it. If I used a thicker application, like with a palette knife and the Nouveau mousse, I would not be able to run it through my die machine. It would actually flatten it out. So something to think about. If you're going to, thin layers, very thin layers, you can run through your die cutting machine. Thick layers, not good. So I've stamped a couple of my images, and I did use my Memento black ink for those 2 packages there, and I'm using my black Versafine for my sentiment on the inside, and it says, "It's time to party." Because, of course, any celebration, we must party. So I decided to put that on the inside of my cards. I am going to show you all of the coloring. I did choose to use my alcohol markers. Now I kind of have a mishmash of alcohol markers. I do have all of the Prismacolors. I am a Prismacolor fan in the markers. I do have a few Copics. I'm growing that collection. And I do have so far all of the Stampin' Up! Blends. And I have to say, I do like the Stampin' Up! Blends. They take the thought process out of it. And sometimes, I've said it before, I'm a lazy crafter. I love doing this, but I don't want to overthink things because I used to do that. And the Stampin' Up! Blends you know, they kind of take that out. There's a dark and there's a light. You can't go wrong. So, and they are coming out with more colors, so I'm excited. Yeah, I already got them. So anyway, so you can see how I color. I may do it differently than others. I mean, there's so many different ways to do and work with these mediums. Sometimes I put my light color all the way down and then I go back in with my dark, or I mark where I want my dark with my lighter color, then go in with my dark, and then go all over with my light. So there's so many different ways, but I did want to keep this in for you, just like the mousse, and I really did speed this up. It's very quickly, but I did want to keep that in. So once we're done our alcohol coloring, I want to fussy cut these images out. And I'm not going to show you that. We know how to fussy cut. I didn't want to bore you with that. So after I've cut these out, I did leave a slight white border around them. There's one more sentiment that I want to put on the outside, and it says, inside, it's your birthday, and when they open it, it's time to party. So I just thought they went well together, and all of those sentiments did come from the Heffy Doodle Stamp set that I'm showcasing here. So I finally decided I'm going to put my gifts down below on the bottom circle there, and I'm going to use my liquid glue and adhere the taller one directly down onto the card base, and then I'm going to use a foam square for the smaller package and just set that down a little bit to make it look like it's definitely in front of the larger. I pulled out my Nuvo shimmer pen, and we have to have some sparkle. Not that we don't have enough with the Nuvo, but we need to have more. So I'm just going over the bows and the ribbons, and then I'm going to come in with my white gel pen and just add some accents to the packages. They have some shading from the alcohol marker coloring that I did, but to add some dots and some circles and some lines just to give them a little bit of character. So of course I decide to do that after I adhere them. Yeah. So that's why, you know, thumbs up, because I've got to kind of lift up that package just a little bit so that I can get the lines down onto the package. But again, we can do that. It's okay. No reason to start the card over in any way, shape, or form. So we're all good. Was able to bend it back down, just bend it backwards just a little bit, and now it's back to being flat. And now I'm just continuing to add the finished lines for this package. I'm going over these circles again because I really do want them to be white, and sometimes a white gel pen will fade. So once that's done, I'm going to grab my tape runner and I'm going to adhere this directly on my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding card base. And this time I chose to just go directly down onto the card base instead of propping it up. Sometimes I use fun foam or double-sided foam tape, but I think it's really cute. It's got a lot of shimmer, and I think it can go both for men and women. So I think it's a universal card. So here are the close-ups of the card that we made today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in this stamp set and stencil that I used, I will have them linked down below. They are available in the Scrapping for Less shop. Look around for other things. They have so much more. It's kind of dangerous. Yes, it is. You know, we like to shop with them. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'd love to have you here as part of my group. And plus, you don't want to miss any more videos that are coming out. Again, the links not only to the products that I use, but also to their shop, their blog, and anything else. Stay connected with them. They have a lot of other designers that do beautiful work, and you don't want to miss out on that either. I hope everyone's having a great day. But always remember, and this is so important, always be creative.